Mrs. Stoneburner.
Present. All right. Then we'll go to the invocation and follow that by the Pledge of Allegiance. Jackie Peterson? Jackie Peterson of Logos Church will do our invocation. Thank you.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight with gratitude and thanksgiving for this opportunity to pray for this council meeting as business is being done on behalf of the Marion community. We ask for wisdom and guidance as the members of this council make decisions that will affect the people here in the city, our children, our youth, our young adults, our seniors, our retirees, disabled, and the veterans. Grant this city, this council, clarity, integrity of heart, and unity among each other. May discussions tonight be respectful, their judgment thoughtful, and their actions guided by a desire to serve the common good of the people. Bless this city, all its leaders, its workers, and its family. May peace and prosperity grow within our community. Help our leaders to listen with respect, speak with honesty, and act with justice and fairness. As they are leading the city, protect their children, protect their family, and protect the families of Marion, Ohio. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight we have on the agenda a welcome back of a new council member. Mr. Bill Dichtel is joining us again, this time representing the 6th Ward. Thank you, Bill, for stepping up. And replacing Mr. Prater, who is having health condition issues that forced him to resign. Clerk will have council, we need the summary of proceedings approved. Everyone's had a chance to look those over. Mr. T. Smith?
I move to accept as submitted.
We have a move to accept them as submitted, and Mr. R. Smith has the second, I trust?
Yeah.
Any other comments on that? Okay. Are you ready?
Mr. Barr?
Yeah.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Dichtel?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Prater?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously to accept the minutes. Old business, item number 1, ordinance 2026-018.
Ordinance
Sorry,
amend,
I read that wrong. 194-081.
018.
Okay, I was right the first time, sorry. Too many numbers on this page. I'll let you do your thing.
Ordinance amending chapter 194.081, city, now I'm confused. Ordinance amending chapter 194.081, credit for tax paid to other municipalities, last amended by ordinance 2023-29.
This comes from your committee, Mr. Rollins, Finance.
Yeah, this came out of finance with a 2-1 recommendation to adopt. This will do away with the tax credit that is provided for Marion residents who work outside the city of Marion. Currently, they are awarded 100% tax credit for taxes paid to another municipality. This ordinance would do away with said credit. This would be the second reading.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yes, Mr. R. Smith.
I believe the last meeting we had, Mr. Watts said that he would provide figures at this meeting to let us know how much money was lost when it went from 50 to 100.
We estimate it's around $350,000 that we lost from going from 50% to 100%. That's an estimate. it's hard to calculate based on the amounts of money that come in each year.
Now, are those exact figures or an estimate?
Well, that would be an exact figure from what we collected last year, but
Okay.
there's variations between what we collect every year. So you could say, yes, the difference between last year and this year was that amount, but, taxes change each year. Not every year is the same.
So if this was adopted, then we could expect to recover probably $750,000 in income, is that
I
correct?
would say around 700,
About
yes.
700.
Thank you. Mr. Dichtel?
I have two questions. The first is for the law director. I already talked to them, but I wanted to make this public. This affects me in a big way because my full-time job is outside of the city. So I would like him to explain why I am or am not allowed to vote on this ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Dichtel. This issue's certainly come up in the past 3 decades, and not many things are clear in Ohio law, but on this issue, Ohio law is clear, meaning the courts and the Ethics Commission have expressed the opinion very clearly that you are not conflicted because it'll affect you. Because in regards to tax laws, just like in the state legislature, the tax laws for the state of Ohio in the Ohio House and Senate affects everybody. So the issue of the opinion that's been issued is a legislator is not conflicted and is permitted to vote on a measure like that that's before you now, like that which is before you now. So there's no obligation in Ohio law that requires you to recuse yourself or abstain.
Thank you. I do have to say, I just want to give my opinion on this, because it does affect me and it affects a lot of people I know. I'm paying full taxes to the city I work in, which are similar to Marion's, and then I come back and I'm going to be required to pay full taxes to the city of Marion. So it would be, if it's 2% in each city, and let's say it's a $50,000 job, I'm just throwing a number out there, that would be $1,000 I'm paying to city A, and then $1,000 to city B, and I'm not getting same services from both cities. I have to say, when they went to 100% tax credit, my wife and I were like, well, this is kind of cool because we're making more money, but we also felt it wasn't fair because they're still picking up our garbage and they're still picking up our, we're still getting the city services, but the city's not getting anything from it. But is it different because I'm in the county of Marion and I pay my license plate fees here and I do all that stuff? Do I need to pay my license plate fees over in Crawford County or another county because I use their roads too? So it gets a little iffy. I just think, in my opinion, we have to pay something, but you're double taxing people. I worked in the city and lived in the city and then lost my job, not through a fault of my own, and had to go outside of the city for a job. So if I was still in the job I had previously, why I moved to Marion in the first place, I wouldn't be worried about this. But right now, I'm going to be double taxed, and honestly, I'd rather have my city, my money going to Marion 100%. But you're asking people it may prevent people from moving into the city because they're going to be double taxed. So I think a fairer thing would be to go back to the 50% as opposed to 100% on there. I know we're in a financial emergency. I know we need the money, but I think you're going to scare people away.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Kretter?
Yeah, I would just add to that, I'm in that same boat, but where I work, they do not have a municipal tax, so everything goes here. Is this a situation that is part of the elements of a recovery plan, but do we have to act on it right away when you do that resubmission, or we can just list that? That's what I'm saying.
They're asking us to list things with deadlines.
With deadlines, okay, that's well, okay. That's pretty much all I had. So, yeah.
Anything else?
So, Madam President?
Yes.
There is one housekeeping measure. At the last meeting, Councilperson Ralph Smith inquired about the last sentence of the Section 1, the very last paragraph of Section 1. That should be stricken out. What's been shared since the last meeting as a part of the electronic distribution of the agenda was a draft that has that sentence stricken out, and also in the very last section, section 2, the income tax department has asked that language be inserted, like we did last time in 2023, to make it clear as to what the effective date of this act would be. And so if you have, it's the 2000 and, looking for the number, but it has an A beside it, the one, there it is. It's 2026-018-A is the one I'm reading from that was shared as a part of the electronic agenda.
They have that in their packets.
In the
It's right
packets, too.
behind the
So it should be
original
in your
one.
packet.
It's all highlighted and noted at the top.
So it would be appropriate to amend the ordinance that's pending and having its second reading at this time, to strike the very last sentence of section 1 and to insert in section 2 the words "shall be applicable beginning 1/1/2026."
He's not talking about this.
No.
Okay, just this?
Yeah.
Okay. Council, everybody find all that? Okay. Ms. Snape?
Motion to amend.
Just gonna have a comment.
Also move.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Kimberly Mayer, 890 Gephardt Street. So the topic is about tax money for people that chose to go out of town. They did not have a problem paying taxes to that county that they probably don't spend much time in. Meanwhile, they live in this one. Like you said, with your trash and things like that. If you don't want to pay taxes in 2 places, live in the town that you want to work in, or work in the town that you live in. Not hard. Marion should not have to sacrifice $700,000 because someone chose to go out of town. I've lived here my whole life. I don't make hardly nothing, and I get it. It's because I live here, and I chose to work here. I don't work in a factory. If you don't work in a factory in this town, you don't make a whole lot. But let's not forget, you choose where you live, and you choose where you work. If there's taxes over here and there's taxes over there, if you got a complaint here, I want to see you over there meetings, complaining to them. Tell them that you don't want pay. See what they say.
Thank you. I think council has expressed a recognition of that. Mr. Dixell?
Ma'am, I would say your thinking is wrong. I'm not paying taxes, I'm paying taxes twice.
No.
Excuse me?
Well, it's
you
okay.
chose-
I didn't choose.
No, you're paying taxes twice. Look, you can either live in the town that you pay your taxes to, or you can work in the town you pay your taxes to. Simple.
Okay, sounds simple, but we'll move on to, council, did I have an amendment?
Then you don't have to pay twice.
That's enough. Yeah,
I'll make the amendment, or motion to amend it as in 018-A.
Okay, I have a motion to amend as the law director just explained, from Mr. R. Smith, and I see a second from Mr. T. Smith.
Yes, so moved.
Okay, when you're ready?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
No.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
No.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
No.
Mr. Rollins?
No.
Okay. Well, it's 4-4. You get a break of tie. Am I?
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, I'm going to break the tie on behalf of the nays.
think they understood it.
On behalf of the nays.
Amendment fails?
Madam President,
The amendment fails, yes.
just to be clear, everybody understands
This is about amending what,
language.
yes, the language.
We're not approving it or disapproving.
Yeah, this is not a final say, this is just about the amendment that we were just discussing. All right, now I want to clarify, so what we've all just been looking at and said no to is in keeping with what the mayor and admin have been trying to put together for the purposes of the state.
So, if I may, I think it's not that complicated. These were just clerical clarifications. For example, the sentence that had been recommended to be amended and stricken is still in there, but when you're giving no credit, it has no applicability. It would just be a meaningless sentence. So that has no effect in the fact that it didn't pass to amend it to be stricken. And in the final section, the Income Tax Department had requested that it be clear that the effective date be 1/1 of this year. And the fact that it's not in there, again, although it may be less clear, it doesn't substantially affect what you're considering that you've given a second reading to this evening on tonight's agenda.
Okay, I'm going to have to reverse my decision then and go with the yays. Because I wanted to make sure it wasn't about what a lot of, had just been discussed by the public.
So procedurally,
So it's gonna-
it'd be a motion to reconsider. In whether or not there should be a reconsideration, whether another vote should take place on the motion to amend. So if the motion to reconsider receives a second, then the clerk will take the role of counsel as to whether or not there should be another vote now that there's been more information shared.
Thank you. We have a motion to reconsider by Mr. Barr.
I'll second.
Looks like a second from Mr. T. Smith.
And this is just to be clear, this is just for the language of this. This isn't the vote. Who knows that there'll be yet another amendment made?
I think people understand that, but if someone wants to amend in the future to make it a 50%, then maybe that verbiage makes sense to be in there.
Right.
Then we would
So
probably
it's
have to
not
put
just
it
that
in.
people don't understand what we're trying to pass here. It's, I think maybe people in the future want to have this amended further.
I'm going to rescind my motion to reconsider the vote.
Okay.
Mr. Barr?
Mr. Barr.
I want to make a motion to insert in section 1, shall be amended to, shall be allowed to a 50% credit. By saying that, plenty of calls from plenty of constituents, talking with other council members, to go from 100% to 0%, I think is extreme in the short amount of time since this was just went to 100% in 23, the end of 23. So with that, I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Do I have another motion to amend?
50%, and that would be a motion for Mr. Barr
Second by Mr.
and a
R.
second
Smith.
for Mr. R. Smith. Okay, when you're ready.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
No.
Mr. Kreider?
No.
Mr. Rollins?
No.
Okay, the yeas have it, it looks like.
5-3.
5-3.
I'll read that again.
I'm going to read that as amended.
Ordinance amending Chapter 194.081, credit for taxes paid to other municipalities, last amended by Ordinance 2023-029 as amended.
With, point of order,
Yes.
we did have the single minority party vote against. So I think, don't we have to have a ruling on that?
So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that we've actually experienced a precedent where the president of the current council had established a different procedure
Right.
than what we were following, let's say, 2 years ago. So
What is this procedure now?
Well,
Just so I'm clear.
I thought it was a council decision that
it
was
was.
not gonna-
We had an issue that was before council, and it was an issue where the then sole member of the opposing party voted no to suspend, wasn't it? It was on
Yes.
suspension.
It was on suspension.
So if this is applicable only to suspension, and there was, the most recent instance was the president determined that the no vote of the single member of the opposing party was insufficient to not,
Thank you.
to pass it, to be a suspension of the motions that succeeded. So it was successful.
Thank you for that.
It was successful on the first reading because his argument was he didn't have time to look at it and read it. The second reading, the president said, no, you've had it in front of you for 2 weeks.
Even more details there.
Sorry,
Or
I
even
just-
more accurate, but I don't even think we're there yet because that was on the suspension of the rules.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving on to,
What are we doing with this?
let's see.
It is
Well,
back
yeah,
to a first
okay,
reading.
It's back to,
First reading.
just a second. Let me get this.
This is getting confusing.
Did you have it?
No.
Oh, okay. Ms. Suki? You'll state your name and address.
Teresa Lepke, 555 Normandy Drive. So I think the 50% is a good compromise, so I appreciate that. I still want to reiterate something that I said 2 weeks ago, and that is I think as the public, we need to see the whole problem and the whole plan. And it's really difficult to know, to communicate to our council members if we agree with a piece of it at a time. You know, when we were here 2 weeks ago, we were talking about this, and then in the paper, or then we got a letter, I think, that our trash and sewage was gonna go up, which I'm not saying it shouldn't or shouldn't, but it's like this piece, then this piece. The mayor put a letter out to the public that's on the website, which I appreciate that you can find it, talks about discontinuing curbside recycling. So there's all these little pieces, and I think that, one, the public, we don't really know, I don't even know if you know, Mr. Ellens often talks about this being a reconciliation problem, that do we really know the root cause of the problem? And if so, let's explain it to the public, and then let's look at the whole solution. You know, most of you know I was the CEO of a nonprofit organization for many, many years, and I would never have presented to my board of directors one little piece without really explaining the whole problem, understanding the problem, and putting the whole solution together. And it seems to me that's what you're asking the public to do, is to just say, okay to this and okay to that. We also talked 2 weeks ago about transparency, and I asked and suggested, why isn't the initial, all of the communications with the state auditor's office on our website so that we can see their response to the city's plan? I still don't see that. Am I missing it? Is it on the website, Mr. Mayor?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Well, last fall, you wrote a letter communicating to the state auditor that triggered us being in fiscal caution, right? Correct. So obviously there was a communication back from the state auditor, and then you were requested to put a plan together, and so that plan was submitted to the state, correct?
Right.
Okay, where the plan should be on the website.
I did put them, it is
Plan
on
is
the
on
Where
the
are
website.
they?
It's on the auditor's page. I can send you the link in the
Okay.
morning if you would like, or I can show you after.
Because I did look, and so it's not, would be great on that letter that's right there on the front page if you had linked to it, so thank you for that. So because we have to, but so my main point is just that I feel like we're not seeing the whole puzzle all at once. And it makes it really difficult for us to come here and give valid opinions and informed opinions when we're not seeing the whole puzzle. So I don't know I don't know what the exact right answer is, but if we could see more of the puzzle at least before we're asked to give opinions.
Mr. Barr, did you want to
Ms.
answer?
Loveday, I can appreciate what you're saying about transparency and having all that put out there, but it's twofold. Some of this is legislation that council has to approve. Some of it is administrative that we have no say-so in. So for us to kind of put that together, so we're doing our due diligence and bringing things forward that we feel we have control of.
But curbside recycling would be accountable, correct? last time we looked at it, which was what, about 6 years ago, that came to council. I was at those meetings, and council discussed it. Gary Sims came and spoke.
But we don't have the same connections, do we?
Thank goodness curbside recycling isn't on tonight's agenda.
Yes.
I'm not trying to jump ahead, but
But some of these things, I just wanted to point out, some of these
Right.
things are out
Right,
of our hands,
right.
some of them our hands are in. But I appreciate what you're saying, and yes, I believe the administration wants to do that too. They're still working through this next plan. So I imagine it's hard for the administration to make that public while they're still working on that. And I'm sure whatever is approved by the state auditor will be made public. Am I okay in saying that? Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ryer. It's a struggle to know how to voice an opinion when, if I'm looking at, like personally I might think, do we want to go from 100 to 50% and lose $400,000 in potential new revenue, right, on tax credit, but we have to then give up curbside recycling, right? As you know, so it's difficult for citizens to give an opinion, and I think it's difficult for you guys to know to vote without seeing that whole thing and understanding what the reconciliation issues are.
They have
Mr. Kreider, did you have
I was just gonna say, it's just, we can't see the whole puzzle complete, we're getting pieces of it and trying to put everything together, and you just don't have quite all the information, to work from.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right. We're leaving, now this is a first reading. We're leaving this out. Having been amended. 018. Mr. Barr?
Make a motion to suspend the 3 readings.
A motion to suspend the 3 readings and a second from Mr. T. Smith.
Just to.
Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Just to clarify why I voted to amend it to 50%. I have spoke with many people in the community who work outside of town, and they weren't okay with the 100% change. So there's no reason why it was amended to a 0 or 100% credit in 23. So there's no reason we can't move it back to 50%, and that'll at least help us out a little bit. So that's why I voted the way I did.
All right. Mr. Rollins?
Just a few things, if I may, real quick. Certainly going to vote not to suspend here. I certainly believe any tax increase should go 3 readings. Secondly, when we start putting things that need council approval in a state plan that we're trying to submit, as a city council member, you feel almost as if you're being held hostage to vote for certain things, and that is not what we were elected to do. It is not what I was elected to do. So I'm just letting you know how it makes people feel. It certainly makes me feel as a council member when we include these things in a state plan that we have little involvement in really putting together. It's almost like you're being held hostage to vote for some of these things. I'm not going to vote for them. If it costs me votes in the future, so be it. But I won't be held hostage. That's all I'll say.
Mayor Collins?
Thank you, Madam President. I take exception to that, just for the simple fact that we were tasked with putting this plan together. And if part of this plan includes, if I could do away with the 100% tax credit myself, I certainly would, but I can't. It takes the vote of council, which is exactly what you're there to do. And we're having the readings on it because we're getting everybody's input on it. And
we're about to vote to suspend the rules.
But as long, every time.
That's not 3 readings.
Mr. Rollins, my turn. Every time we kick this, every time we amend this, it's going to take it back to the first reading. We don't have that kind of time. So I'm not trying to hold anybody hostage. The things that I can do on my own, that I know I'll take grief over, but it's what the state has mandated us to do. And if we don't want them to come in and run this city, without any input from us, then these are the steps that we have to take. And I told everybody in the beginning, it's not going to be easy. They don't care who's going to hold up the process, but they want to see the process move forward. And I'm okay with, that's why we're having these discussions. And if we decide on a 50%, there's other things we can consider. We can have a 50% with a 1% cap, which was what was suggested to me by one of the tax people in the tax office. They do it in other cities where you might get a 50% credit, but it has a 1% cap, so it helps a little bit. It's not, it helps a little bit more. But I'm okay with the conversation. I'm okay with the discussion. I'm not okay with saying that we're submitting a plan that's holding council hostage.
Something else, Mr. Rollins?
It would have prevented the amendments and then returning this to a first reading if we wouldn't have rushed it through committee with crazy politics. One person voted against this in committee as it was. We rushed it through. Tell me I'm wrong. Somebody on this council, tell me I'm wrong.
I will tell you
Mr.
that
Usman?
you're wrong. I'll tell you.
The committee chair resigned the day after.
Give me a chance to explain, please. I will tell you that it was sent to the full council, for the full council to hear, not for 3 people on the committee to decide. And that's why it was sent to council.
Okay.
Okay.
Call the question.
Madam President?
Yes.
I just wanted to address one more thing. I keep hearing this talk about raising taxes. We're not raising anything. This tax was voted on 12 years ago by the citizens of this community, and nowhere in that did it say we're going to give a 50 or 100% tax credit. It was voted on. So we're not raising taxes. We're just trying to recoup and collect what was voted on 12 years ago. We're not trying to raise taxes. We're trying to raise our revenue, which is what the state said we had to do.
All right.
Can I call the roll?
Yes. Let's call the roll for the motion to suspend.
Now allowed to speak?
Not right now, thank you.
Okay.
Madam President, can I
Yes.
speak on this motion? What if she wants to speak on the motion?
Yeah,
On the motion to suspend the 3 readings?
yeah.
Oh.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, I don't think, okay, I know we need to make cuts, and I know it's gonna be hard. And I don't envy y'all's job. But what Mr. Rollins is saying is kind of a little bit accurate, a little bit here, because if we wouldn't have hurried up, because of the states wanting us to hurry up, we are allowing the state at this point, not necessarily you or anything, we're allowing the state to rush our political process here in this county. And I understand what you say, and I remember you saying it at the beginning about they don't care, and you just reiterated it. They don't care who holds it up. I get that. But I'm sure, the state, I don't know if the state gets to bully the counties. Do they? Do they get to tell us what we do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm asking, because like I said, guys, I'm new to this.
How
Okay,
much they can bully.
okay, okay. Because I think that anytime, it's not a tax raise, it's going back to what was something that was already established. But anytime you're asking taxpayers to dig back in their pockets, even if they're like, oh yeah, we forgot, you need to have 3 readings.
Mr. Barr?
I just want to clarify why I made a motion to suspend the rules. We've been dealing with this for over 4 weeks now. I think everybody up here, including you, Mr. Rollins, know that this is where we're going to land on the compromise at 50%. So I'd like to have it passed so they can go to the state auditors where they include that in their plan, so at least they have that. That's why I made the motion. I just wanted to be clear about that.
And why couldn't we be clear about that in committee?
I don't think we knew that much information in terms of
We should have
feedback.
had the conversation in committee.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, let's take the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Dichtel?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
No.
Mr. Rollins?
No.
Fails.
Motion fails, we need 7. So this remains a first reading. And we go on to new business. Item number 2, ordinance 2026-022.
Ordinance requiring the Information Technology Department to submit a standardized quarterly information technology report to the Marion City Council, adopting an official report format, providing for codification, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. R. Smith, this comes from your committee.
Yes, this came out of the IT committee. City did not have any required reports, so basically we've been operating in the blind, not knowing what's going on. Every department, every phase of this city is affected by IT. Your lives are affected by it too. And so we need to have some structure to it so that we can tell that if we have a problem, we'll know that it's a problem and how we're going to address it. We don't want to end up in IT like we have in finance, going along blindly until finally something hits us in the face. So these reports should give us some kind of pre-warning if there's a problem, let us know what's going on, and also allow us to plan accordingly so that we can address those problems.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
I just have a question.
Mr. Barr?
Mr. Smith, is there, within this policy, and I read through it, there's a lot of information in there. There's a retention policy, a retention schedule in this policy.
It's not in this, but I do have a meeting this week on that, on
We're gonna have to
retention.
come back and amend this. I think there's some retention schedule issues with the financial documents.
Right, I think so too. That's one of the things I'm meeting on.
I think as far as that goes,
Mayor.
it will fall, sorry, thank you.
Sure, go ahead.
I think as far as that goes, it will fall under our citywide retention schedule.
Right.
Which we need to address. There's also a little bit of language in here I'd like to let us keep working on as far as if something immediate comes up and our IT person's ability to address that without coming to council or committee, and sometimes they have to react very quickly. And I'm just worried that the wording in here might not allow for that. But I know Jacob had talked to the safety director and thought that maybe another sit down with him and Ralph would be advantageous.
Which is the first read, right?
We're just at first.
Yeah. Could I ask what language?
It had to do with
Well, I'm sure he can have it to you before the next meeting.
Yeah, there's no need to delay everything.
We can come back to it, Mayor, right now. We can come back to that, because it's just a first reading.
I'll get back with that, with the exact section we're worried about. The amount of time it's taking me to prepare the reports, we talked about that and trying to pare that down a little bit, so that's all I was asking.
Okay. Thank you. Leave this as a first reading then. And moving on to item number 3, ordinance 2025-023.
Ordinance amending portions of the Marion City Code, more specifically 1183.011, 1183.012, 1161.025 F1, 1183.015, and 790.07, as contained within the Marion City Code to provide for a uniform structure of fees.
This comes out of your committee again, Mr. R. Smith, Legislative Codes.
Yes, this is adjusting the zoning permit fees to more closely coincide with the surrounding communities and to also make it so that Marion is not losing money every time we issue a permit. I believe Mr. Himmler's here. Yeah. If anybody has any questions, Mr. Himmler's here. He can answer any questions on these for you.
Any questions for Mr. Himmler? Mr. Clark?
Where is the language concerning commercial destruction that's been omitted?
Madam President, if I may,
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you asked that. Because it answers a question that came up a little bit earlier. So there are certain matters, obviously, that council must approve, whether it's Ohio law says you have to approve it, or because through the history of Marion, it's in the codified code, which can only be amended by an act of council. Through the evolution of Marion, there are other things like demolition permits, which have come through in a different manner. So first came zoning, which required you to obtain a permit if you were going to build a new structure on your property. Pretty simple. Back in the late 60s, you had to get a zoning permit if you were going to build a fence, shed, addition. That wasn't at the same time that later the demolition permits were required. And so demolition permits are actually under the safety director in our city code. And because it came at a later time than zoning permits, demolition permits, the fee charged is set by the safety director. So that's an example of how a permit for a zoning permit to construct a fence, shed, or addition is a matter controlled by council. The safety director oversees demolitions in the city and is responsible to ensure they're done in compliance with the rules that he drafts, meaning no refuse and rubbish in the basement hole before you fill it back in. So he's the one that sets the fees. So it's just, that's why it's not on this particular ordinance. This ordinance has all those fees that were on the spreadsheet shared in the last couple of weeks that are set by council. For example, the clerk included some of those that are set by the president of council, maintained on the schedule found in the clerk's office. It was informative, but it's set by the president of council by posting it on the wall in the clerk's office for all those to see what a fee would be for an appeal of the Board of Zoning Appeals or a rezoning application. Those are set by the president of council, posted in the clerk's office for all to see. So that's why we have two different mechanisms for how fees are set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
Dictel?
Just a quick question, so I can answer questions if people call me. If they have a shed in their backyard, somebody just has a shed, 7 by 7 foot shed that they got from Home Depot, and all of a sudden there's a 8 by 10 foot shed that they want to replace it with, does that require a new permit? Or do they already have a permit for a shed in their backyard?
It requires a new permit because you're changing sizes. If they were going to replace it with the same size, I consider it maintenance and no permit would be required.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Himmler. Anything else? Wishes of council? Leaving this as a first reading then? Item number 4, ordinance 2026-024.
Ordinance reestablishing the Department of Public Safety /Service, repealing council's previous separation of the safety director and service director ordinances in conflict, enacting all necessary measures to enable the recreation of the director of public safety and service, amending the Yarger report, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. T. Smith, this comes from one of your committees?
Yes, it did. This came out of municipal services with a 3A recommendation. This is just combining the safety director and the service director's position. We learned in committee that it'll save about $92,000 in revenue, so that'll be good. And we did ask Mr. Rob Cow if he thought that it was a job one person could handle, and he thinks that it can. So I think we should get it passed as soon as possible, barring any questions.
Okay. Mr. Dichtel and then Mr. Rollins?
I waved to Mr.
Please go ahead. I was going to make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Well, so was I, sir. I'll second your motion.
Well, I'll give Mr. Rollins that motion and Mr. Dichtel the second. Did you, other
I was
gentlemen?
going to ask a question. All right.
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to make sure that we had the proper description on that from the admitted Yarger.
Is there a job description?
Yeah, I thought there was a job description, perhaps.
I did not receive one.
Okay. So are we needing that then? Put that forward.
Yes, there is a job description. I believe Amy O'Connor Amy found one.
The current one, all right.
It's the current, the one that was used last time. Is that an accurate statement?
Is it from the?
So it's the
previous
same one
administration?
that was used before they were separated.
Okay.
So
So do we have that to refer to?
So that goes back to 2023? Or were they
it
separated?
goes back further than that.
Does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like Brown administration. I mean, it's
Yeah, Dale Osborne was the last
Dale,
one.
and then I even heard it's Brown. That's it.
Okay.
Anyway.
Now, that was Mr. Kreider's
91?
question. Somebody's looking up the answer, I think.
So what, we have to have that?
Here's a suggestion,
Okay.
because I see the desire to move forward. All we would need to do before the vote to adopt it would be to amend Section 2 and just simply reference the previous combined safety service director's job description shall be attached as a part hereof. We could just use the same one that existed back when Mr. Osborne was the safety service director. We can change it going forward. If we want to change it at the next meeting, we can change it, but at least it'll be a complete ordinance with the job description reference in Section 2, and you'd be enabled to pass it this evening and move forward.
Can we pay him the same as 91?
He's already made comments, that's not going to work.
Dale Osborne too, you only pay him in beer.
Mr. T. Smith, did that answer your question? I thought I saw your hand up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will rescind my motion to suspend.
Okay. Motion to suspend is rescinded. And
1991.
Ms. Lang, did you have a comment?
Well, I'm reading this, and in the second whereas, it says, and again separate them last in ordinance 2027-107.
That's a clear, thank you for pointing that out. That actually was referenced before. If the clerk would change that to 2020,
07 maybe?
it is 2007.
Yeah.
So that it was referenced in the previous meeting a week ago. So that is not 2027, that is 2007.
I thought I'd gotten it, I apologize.
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah,
And we're doing things in the future now.
yeah.
So do we wish to leave this as a first reading?
Or do we?
I thought we had to
Then-
amend.
then-
I rescinded my motion because I thought we were going to amend.
Yeah.
That's what I was
my
thinking.
understanding. I will make a motion to amend per the law director's recommendation.
Motion
Second.
to amend from Mr. Rollins and a
You're
second
good.
from Mr. Clark. That's what I thought. Let's take a,
I want to make sure I've
oh,
got this language. Section 2 should read, council hereby amends the personnel classification schedule Yarger report by adopting the job description as adopted in ordinance 1991-45, attached here to and made a part thereof.
That works.
all right.
So moved.
So moved. Let's
And
take the vote.
Mr. Kreider was a second?
I'll second, yes, thank you.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Dichtel?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion to amend carries unanimously.
You have to
Teesman?
read as amended.
Yeah, I gotta
Oh,
read it.
yes, you do, sorry.
Ordinance reestablishing the Department of Public Safety Service, repealing council's previous separation of safety director and service director, ordinances in conflict, enacting all necessary measures to enable the recreation of the Director of Public Safety/Service, amending the Yarger report, and declaring an emergency as amended.
Mr. Rollins?
I will now make a motion to suspend the three reading rule.
Okay. Motion to suspend from Mr. Rollins, second from Mr. Dickdale. Anything else on this, questions or comments? All right, seeing none, hearing none. Go ahead.
Mr. Barr?
No.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Dickdale?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
No.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fails.
Motion fails 6-2.
First reading.
First reading. Ordinance 2026-024. All right. Next is item number 5, ordinance 2026-001.
An ordinance making appropriations for salaries and benefits and other expenditures for all funds during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026.
This comes out of Finance Committee. Mr. Rollins?
Yeah, this also came out of finance with a 2-1 recommendation. This will take care of the second 3 quarters of the budget year 2026.
Did you say it will take care of the second
3 quarters.
3 quarters?
Yeah, or the third, the remaining.
Let's not do that.
Yes, yeah, that's what it said.
Remaining 3 quarters.
That was recording. All right. Mr. R. Smith?
I have some questions on this. I've done a little research, and in comparing this budget, which is the 4th budget submitted to this council this year, I find that of all of these categories on here, only 4 have a decrease. The rest of them all have an increase in the budget, the amounts. And the overall budget itself is 3.66% higher than it was in 2025. And I was led to understand that we had to ask for a 10% reduction in the budget, but yet we're getting a 3.66% increase in the budget. We're asking the citizens of Marion to increase their tax burden. We're asking the citizens of Marion to increase their sanitation and sewer, to increase the bus routes, and to do away with recycling, in the hopes, and also not to mention the fact that City Council gave up their pay raise for the next 2 years in order to help the city out. And now we're saying that rather than reduce the budget or reduce expenses, we're going to increase expenses, and I just can't see that as a way forward. I don't think that I could support this budget the way it is right now.
Mr. Rollins?
Yeah, I just want to remind council that the administration did not say they were reducing the budget 10% year over year. They were reducing the budget 10% based on the first budget that was presented to council. So that budget, that first budget that was presented to finance was cut 10% to what we have today. So I do want to just make that note, that it wasn't a year over year 10% decrease. Just so that we're clear on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Wishes of council? Mr. Barr?
I just have a quick question. I'm assuming it'd be Mr. Allen. The planning and economic development for regional planning is $100,000. What's the revenue sharing for $35,000?
Can you tell me which one?
1007, it'd be 5412 and 5413. It'd be page 7, or page 5.
Mr. Watts may have an answer.
Oh, Mr. Watts?
Revenue sharing is basically when the city pays their portion to belong to regional planning.
Okay, and then the 100,000 is the funding for regional planning?
Yes.
Okay.
It's all part of the membership and the funding.
Hold on, this looks like an expense. Why is this called revenue sharing? So I was just curious.
I don't know, somebody back decided the name.
Okay.
That's what it is.
And the county puts in on that as
We can, by
well.
act of council, change the name if we so choose.
We got enough problems.
I'm just saying.
I agree.
Sorry, I just wanted some clarification.
Alrighty. Yes, on this issue?
Okay. Yes, on this budget.
We need your name and address, please.
Dinah Jesse, at 701 Wayne Avenue. I don't piss anybody off. But I have questions. I've been in accounting for over 40 years. And my favorite part of the job was digging into budgets. Therefore, I would like to ask Mr. Hamel, is that how you pronounce it? Okay, do you dig into these budgets when, or do they just give you a spreadsheet of what it entails?
No, there's a process that goes on with budgeting. Initially, the departments, we call them like their wish list, right? Like they come up with what they think they might need for the year.
Is it specific?
It is. We ask them to provide details line by line. We ask them to provide details of their estimated revenue and where it's coming from, what their expenses might be. I mean, there's a lot of details that go into it. We have meetings with each of the departments and the department heads, and they come and there's conversations that are had. I mean, it lasts for weeks, months maybe, at a time to dig into each individual budget, along with other budgets. I shouldn't say other budgets, but other funds that don't have a department budgeting them.
That's what I wanted to know, if it was really digging because of the last.
We actually took it a step further this year with the safety director's suggestion that we task each department with going back in and renegotiating, whether it's copier lease, phone service, whatever it might be, to make sure that they're looking for the best deal possible. We don't just renew that year after year after year.
It kind of rushed through this last meeting, so I was concerned on how deep you guys actually read the lines of the budget that were turned into you.
Yeah, each of the department heads, they complete a form, and the form provides the detail for each one of the lines.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And it's a good question.
Thank you.
One of them, anyway.
Yeah.
But as I said before, my favorite thing to do is budgets. And my budget, things just start dinging with me when we went over the budget and the information. And again, what Mr. Smith said about the fact that things were not 10%. I mean, it's all over Facebook and social media that we are not cutting 10%. We're cutting 10% from the first thingy, and their understanding is that we should be cutting from 25 in order to make the city a little healthier. And so the public is out there yelling at that, what is the name of that program, or the swamp? They are huge, and sorry, I have to sit in my phone, but I do agree with some of their stuff, but they are stating that we are not cutting our budget. So the people in Marion are reacting and saying, basically, you know, that we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. And I agree partially with them. I don't know how Mr. Collins expected it to be from the 25 budget or from the first budget of 26?
It was from the first budget revenue. And I
That
can
was
tell you that there's absolutely no way that we could come into this year and cut. I mean, when you have health insurance and raises and all those things that you have to factor in, we can't stay at what the 2025 budget was. And this has been one of the lowest budgets that's been presented in many, many years. So
that was what I wanted to know so that I can reiterate.
Sure, absolutely, and that's why we went such in depth with every department and had probably 2 or 3 meetings with each department, and every time we came back in, we'd say, can we cut this, can we cut that, can we lower that a little bit? All knowing that we had this increase in healthcare and an increase in salaries and benefits and that kind of thing to try to fit into the budget also.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Craig?
I would just kind of reiterate, one of the earlier council meetings, being on council 2014 and 15, the budget was $14 to $16 million. So it really presented the fact that our revenue had to be raised, but we're essentially going back 12 years or so.
Right.
And trying to have expenses and everything else was accelerated. So I just want to let you know that. So.
All right, one last question and I'll get out of here. Can we get it clarified on why on the last edition of the budget to the recent one right now, the police department has asked for over $1 million more?
I'm not sure what numbers you're referring to, but they have not asked for.
Transfer in.
If you're,
Transfer out.
are you talking about the transfer in or out?
Yes, probably. I just remember seeing the budget and on the last, the third version of the budget or the second version, it was $1 million less than it is at this point in time.
Okay, so just to clarify something, our budget's a little bit different because revenues are not considered part of our budgeting process when brought to council. It's just expenditures. And that's why when they're reading the ordinance heading, it's just appropriations for salaries and benefits and other expenditures. Nothing in here is related to revenue. So that's kind of a little bit tricky.
But still, their expenses
Correct.
will be over
Yes.
over $1 million more from one
Correct.
budget to another, and I just kind of wondered. And it's because we had a reading, or we had Chief of Police here, and he was referring to the flock cameras.
Correct.
And that amount of money that would supposedly keep that running for our city is over $1 million. And then 2 weeks later,
So
we see the budget
the
is
difference
over $1 million
okay, so the
again.
difference in the expenditures is what you're seeing is for
Yes.
the line for transfers out, which is 1024. That money is now split between police and fire. It's not going towards flock, it's towards their revenue.
Okay, all right, that's what I wanted to
So
make
it's
sure.
just money
Yeah.
coming from the general fund
It
out
was
to
just-
support those two departments,
It was just
to
too
keep
close
them
together.
more in balance.
Yeah.
It's very hard, it takes me a while to read through these and figure them out
I
too,
understand.
but the transfers, so income tax, like when they pass an income tax, so much is supposed to go to police and fire, right? That's a percentage. And those percentages don't add up to enough to fund each one of those departments. So we have to transfer in from the general fund to make those departments whole. And that's what that's making. It has absolutely nothing to do with flock, I assure you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
That's what I was going
All right.
Okay, that's all I have.
Mr. Barr?
Just another question. I know you didn't have to, but I appreciate you putting the revenue grand totals on here.
Yeah.
That makes it a lot nicer to be able to see, but as we can see, expenses are again outpacing revenue. And how do we go about that? I know past councils have passed on deficit spending budgets. How are we gonna close this gap?
So I will say that part of that revenue does not include things that are being brought to council currently, such as the income tax or sanitation, sewers rates, things like that. Didn't want to count my chickens before they hatch.
Rightfully so.
Just like the service director expense is still in here at his full salary, because I didn't want to take it out before knowing if the position was going to be combined or not. So that should fill some of the gap.
That's not gonna fill the whole gap though. Right?
No, it won't fill all of it, and that's for the enterprise funds. The general fund budget is balanced.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, wishes of council on this item? Leave it at a first reading, Mr. Rollins?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Item number 6 then, ordinance 2026-025.
An ordinance authorizing the release and expenditure of more than 25% of approved first quarter budget for the City of Marion Police Fund due to annual expenses required to be paid in advance of the year ending December 31st, 2026.
And Mr. Rollins, back to you.
Yes, this also came out of finance with a 3-0 recommendation to approve. Previous council had approved the upgrade of the dispatch and records management system through the police department and the sheriff's department. This just releases those funds that have already been approved by previous council. Obviously, that goes outside the original 25% budget that was passed. So we need to get this through. So if there is no questions from council, it looks like there is.
No, I was gonna make a motion to suspend the 3 readings. I believe the mayor has something.
Mr. Mayor?
I just wanted to say again, this is kind of like revenue sharing that we just talked about, us paying part of the regional planning. This was a purchase made by the sheriff's office and the police department together, and this is our portion of what we have to pay each year for those services. But it just comes due early instead of later, so we need the full amount.
Thank you.
Motion to suspend the 3 readings.
We have a motion to suspend 3 readings, and we have a second from Mr. Rollins. Mr. Barr and Mr. Rollins. Just a second. Any further questions or comments on that? All right.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously to suspend the 3 readings rule. Mr. Barr?
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt from Mr. Barr, and looks like a second again from Mr. Rollins. Any further discussion? All right.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Next, we come to matters not on the agenda, administration or council.
Quick question.
Oh, sure. Mr. Dickel?
I'm sorry, were you first? I have a quick question. I don't mean to open a can of worms, but I want to ask something about the recycling, just real quick. Does that, if that's cut, does that also include yard waste pickup? Or is that a separate issue?
That's a separate, that's not taking away.
Thank you.
Mr. Barr?
I just want to take a moment before 6th Ward gets up and appoint Mr. Dickel to the chairman of the Public Utilities Committee, and then add him to the Airports Lands Buildings Committee. So all those committees at least have 2. Council, I just didn't want to jumble. We'll be appointing another council member probably April 6th. Is my hope. I think that's the earliest it can be done, so I didn't want to jumble anything else. There are a couple vacancies there, but every committee does have at least 2 members staff.
All right.
I accept.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right. And next we have committee meetings assignments. Airports, lands, and buildings. Mr. Clark?
Nothing at this time.
We're
Public
coming up to
comments
public
after
comments.
this.
Not yet.
After this. Sorry, it was just council and admin. Information systems, Mr. Smith?
Yes, I have some meetings coming up this week, so I think we may have something further on records retention.
6:30?
You want
Yes,
6:30?
6:30.
Mr. Rollins, Jobs and Economic Development.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Smith, Legislation Codes.
6:35, liquor permits, fairground and smokehouse.
Okay. Municipal Services, Mr. Smith.
Yes, we will have a representative of the flock camera system here to talk with us, so.
6:40,
Yes.
Does that work?
When was the last one called, 6:30?
6:35. You want to go
6:40.
6:40 or 6:45?
6:40.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Mr. Dick.
Public utilities.
Mr. Dickdale.
I haven't received anything at this time.
All right. Regional Planning, Ms. Larkin.
March 25th, 7 PM.
Prospect Room, Marion County Building. Mr. Barr, Street and Sewers.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Kreider, Zoning and Annexation.
Nothing at this time.
And Mr. Rollins, Finance.
Yeah, we'll meet, we'll call it 6:45. I doubt we're gonna have a 5-minute flock discussion. We'll call it 6:45. We got old business, we got new business, we got audit discussion. We have all kinds of fun stuff. What's that? Oh, I thought you said something.
We have a new opioid settlement to review.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. All right. Next we come to public comments. If you wish to give one, please come to the podium, give us your name and address.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jane Wolf. I live at 762 Brightwood. I am one of 2 rows back here of people who live on Brightwood Drive. We have come here as a group to voice our concern. It has come to our attention exactly 1 week ago that the city and the public health department and apparently all of the schools have done some type of a study over the last 5 to 7 years. And from the results of that study, the city has now applied for a grant, which apparently has been done. And this coming July, we will find the results of the grant if the city got the grant. If the city gets this grant, and it's through ODOT, then we have found out that with this grant, there is a proposal to create an 8-foot asphalt pathway on Brightwood Drive going from about the school, like Eveningside Circle, straight south on Brightwood to the boulevard. First of all of us on Brightwood, after we found this information out a week ago, we put our heads together and we want to voice our concern and our anger at a few things. First of all, whenever these studies were done, what were the results of the study? What were they looking at? What data did they collect? And with that, from the issues from that, the problem and the solutions, why were none of us on Brightwood Drive invited to go to some type of a community meeting, even at the school on Brightwood Drive? We found out by accident a week ago, we knew nothing of this proposal, this grant, none of this. If this grant goes through, again, this 8-foot asphalt pathway, multi-purpose pathway, is going to be put through our front yards. And on Brightwood, it will start on the west side of Brightwood from the school down to Virginia. Then Virginia Avenue, it flips over to the east side of Brightwood, which is where I live, going then straight to the boulevard. We are angry. We don't want asphalt in our front yards. If any one of you drive down Brightwood, the homes for the most part are gorgeous. They're well manicured. The lawns are gorgeous. The landscape is gorgeous. We do not want an 8-foot asphalt pathway put in our front yard. What we do want is to be a part of the solution going forward if this grant goes through, and we want to voice our disgust and our anger that somebody wants to put asphalt through our front yards on Brightwood. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
You know, the sixth word is weird. Yeah, I think it does fall in.
Another thing that concerns me.
Please,
is
hold on
the
just a
state
second.
of the
We need
city-
quiet.
The state of the city financially, who's going to be responsible for maintaining this path? Because I'm on the corner of Virginia, headed toward the boulevard, over 300 feet of asphalt through my front yard. Okay? Who's going to be responsible for sealing that? The deterioration? Okay, is the city gonna be able to maintain it? Because it doesn't sound like it. You know, and are we gonna be responsible for keeping it clear? Because this is something we didn't ask for. You know, had we wanted sidewalks or paths, we probably would have put them in already. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me run up here.
Yeah, run, run, run.
Tom Penn, 681 Brightwood Drive. Wondering about the, first of all, whoever wrote the grant, that was a good grant, good job. Keep it up with the city, that's good stuff. I just wanted someplace else, other than my front yard. But again, you're taking out about 70, 80 feet of my front yard also with the asphalt. Okay, and you want to put a sidewalk in, and I was a principal in this, well, I've been here since 1974. I may have even taught some of you guys. I hope well, and if you were in driver ed, I hope really well. But anyway, along those lines, I have questions about the path itself. How would it go 3 feet from the curb? Would it butt up against the curb? And then also, if it comes possible that this has to be done on a piecemeal basis for a grant writer, why not do, if it has to be done, then just do it in cement and make it look like what we did as a city when I was the city treasurer over in the Mark Street area. Those sidewalks and the curb and the streets are gorgeous when they redid them over there. They put in new shore lines and stuff. Did a great job. So it can be done. Then if there's not enough grant money, then just do half of it then. But at least do it in cement if you're going to do it. And I know we can't stop the city from doing that. That's not my point. Although, I would check the city with the city law director. Sorry, Mark. If you go into District 6, who's that?
I'm not admitting it at this point.
If you would look into that and look into the laws, I think that were established, you guys taking the sidewalk and going up the boulevard, or going in front of her home from Virginia to the boulevard, I think you'll find that it's illegal to put a sidewalk in. But you're gonna have to do some research. Okay, but that's 6. 5? No. You can get away with it. Okay. Along those lines, any questions? Additions?
So do we know what ward we're talking about here?
Five and six.
So it's 5 and 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 5, maybe 6.
Oh,
Working.
Mr. Barr?
Mr. Pennant, I'm familiar with your area over there, and I understand not wanting an 8-foot path through there, especially asphalt. Are most of you in agreement that there needs to be something there?
No. Why now?
I see very few students walking to
Yeah.
one of my house to go to school.
Justified.
I see 2.
I didn't either.
Where I live, there's 2.
Hold on 1 second, guys, we're gonna have to have you
Excuse
come
me,
up to the
let's-
podium to respond.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
sorry,
have-
Mr. Martin, but
And-
our grant writer has a
Yes, we'll have the
response.
grant writer give
So
us.
I have been working very closely with both the schools, and the number 2 is not correct. Both schools have about 40% of kids that walk, and those are tallies and surveys taken from within the schools.
Okay, hold on, one at a time at the podium, please. Mr. Panic, you still have the
No way,
floor.
I counted them all every time I turn around. They may walk, but they don't come down Brightwood.
They probably walk
Go over
north.
to- They go the other way. They even cut through yards which I don't mind either, cut through my yard. The postman comes through my yard every day. Like, but no, no way near 40% down Brightwood, what we're talking about. So we're trying to be a little more specific in a 400 or 500 yard space. Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Anything for Mr. Panic?
Well, no, I was just going to say on what he did, I received a call from Miss Wolf, and I went over and I looked at the landscaping, I looked at the area, then I went back after school, I saw 4 kids walking that route. That's what I saw. 4.
Mr. Crowder?
I can kind of concur, because at 24, I did substitute teaching there, and most everything was going north. It was not going toward the boulevard.
No clapping, please.
Mr. Marvin, can he come up with me? I'll help him up.
Just a real quick. Ed Marvich, 772 Brightwood. I'm the last house before the boulevard. Lived there 40 years. My 2 sons went to Indian Mountain School. I taught there 35 years at Harding. We have 2 kids that cut through our driveway to go to the 3rd house on Vernon Heights Boulevard. That's it, ever. Never see any traffic there. Now, if you want to really research something, stay at the school when they're departing the school or arriving at the school. It's a zoo. It's dangerous. We have no problem south. The school needs to do something, or someone needs to do something about the absolute chaos that goes on in the mornings and afternoons with the parking, people pulling out in front of each other, double parking. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marvich. Mr. Panic, are you finished yet?
No, I'm probably not done.
Oh. Well, you've got a line waiting for you here.
I'm Debbie Carr, 651 Brightwood Drive. My concern is we are in a beautiful residential area. And the thought of this multi-use pathway, 8 feet wide, blacktop, makes me think of the rail trails out at Tallgrass. We are not in a recreational area. I don't want to see that. I think that that is going to look ridiculous in our neighborhood. And I also am very fearful of what our property values would do if that was put in.
Please, no clapping. We're supposed to keep a little more decorum, please. Mr. T. Smith.
Yeah, I just want to add, I pick my kids up over there at Benjamin Harrison, and I park on the next street over from Brightwood to pick them up, and there is also no sidewalks over there. And I typically get there half hour earlier, and I see plenty of kids walking after they get out of school heading south. Well, you know, they might not make it all the way to the boulevard, but they make it to the next road and turn, and there's still no sidewalk.
They may be walking to a car somewhere.
All right,
And I would agree that I wouldn't want an asphalt path in my yard either, but, you know, sidewalks are kind of important, I would think. You still got bicycle traffic riding past in the road, kids, you know.
What do we do on, what do we do on the wider roads, which Brightwood is, a wide road? What do we do on those up along where there's much more traffic going east-west? What do we do for that? What do we do for those people? What do we put in? What do we put down? We put down bike lanes, or they put down bike lanes. Okay. All we have to do as a city, and save ourselves a lot of money, is paint about a 4-foot space from the curb out, and a white line, long white line, jagged white line, and put up no parking sign on our side of the street. Yes. And that would be much cheaper than the asphalt. And you can bike in there, and a person that bikes knows that that's a bike lane, and that's a walking lane. It's a sidewalk, but you have to picture Brightwood. It's a very wide street. Okay, which leads me to another issue with the city, and that's Virginia Avenue, which actually becomes an alley once you get up the street up there, and the garbage truck, and the trucks block that off, but that's another whole issue. It's not even a road. It goes from Virginia to the boulevard. And you get up the top and it's dangerous. And there are children up there that I would be concerned about also, that play up in those yards. If the garbage truck's there and people pass, you can't take two cars unless you're a really good driver, unless you have driver ed from me. You can take two cars and you go up through there without going off the street. By the way, when I was a treasurer, I didn't ask for a pay hike either. Anyhow, if I may, are we done with that issue?
I got more.
Yeah, one more. I'll take a back seat for a second because I have another.
All right, thank you.
I'll keep it a minute. Again, Tim Cantrell, 750. I don't know, like, this grant, can they use it for whatever for the school, or is it just for the path? Because all the trees north of the teacher's parking lot, that could be leveled and a pickup area for the kids. So it's not, they're not triple parked down the street and kids darting in and out of cars.
That's not an eligible project.
You can't do it for
No,
that?
it's a safe routes to school grant.
But then the other thing, and my last point is this, I'm sure that school, I don't know for sure, but I'm sure it's been there since 1970.
65.
Why all of a sudden now is it an issue? You know, my wife went to school there. I would like to see statistics on injuries, you know, anything that can support the justification of this, because we're all obviously against it. So, you know, figure out something else to do with that money. So, thanks.
Did you have a question for Mr. Cantrell, Mr. Smith? Mr. T. Smith? No? Okay. Thank you. Anyone else on this issue of Brightwood? On Brightwood?
Kimberly Mayor,
The kids live here.
I don't live in some nice neighborhood. I live in a rental
Mother
house,
lives right
not in a neighborhood like that. I don't even have a sidewalk. My concern is when the city wants to put a sidewalk in front of my house, because when they do, that sidewalk's gonna be on top of my porch. I don't have very much area, and my yard is very small. So if they come through and put a sidewalk in, that's gonna take my yard. I get it, I wouldn't want my yard to be taken. I also wouldn't want asphalt in my yard, especially if I had nice yards like they have. But at the same time, we also should probably just put a sidewalk in. How about just a real sidewalk go through there? I mean, we got sidewalks on like every other street. I mean, I know it's a hindrance, but I think a regular normal sidewalk compared to the asphalt path would look better, and then it wouldn't affect property values. And then we still have a way for the kids to get to and from. And whoever keeps doing all this shady stuff about not telling the people, we need to do better. Getting information out there, or when we're going to do something. If we're going to come up with a new idea and it affects the people on Fairground Street, you need to let the people on Fairground Street know. You know, we need to let these guys know. They should have been able to go to a meeting to hear about this stuff, because apparently there was chatter about it somewhere along the line, because that's how the meeting come about for this grant. It has to do with the grant, right?
Yeah. Could you address that, please?
So, yeah.
I would like to say, we did take it to council, it did to the committee and council, and they did pass it unanimously. Every single one of them did support it. So
Did you mention that it had to do with the asphalt?
Yes, we described it, we had renderings, we told them exactly.
So
what
you
it
guys
was.
didn't pay attention?
It was in the ordinance, it was at 2 meetings, and it did get passed.
Yeah.
The ordinance
Previous
said a
previous
path
council.
from Brightwood to Boulevard.
All right, so.
That was a previous council.
We have a person that really likes to write these, what do you call them?
Grants.
Grants. So please, if you're going to affect a lot of the town, make a note, put it on your Facebook. You know, like, hey, we're gonna do this is an idea or something. We need to let the people know. That's why the people get mad, guys. That's why the people get up here and get upset. And you hear them, if they don't get up here, you hear them all over Facebook. Because they weren't properly informed. We can't even get properly informed about a fair. We get a couple signs that go across the thing. You want people to know about stuff? Get the information out there to the people. And don't just come about writing grants just because. Make it a good reason. And I think they need a sidewalk.
I think kids getting to school, in my opinion, is a good
It is a good reason.
And we did take it to council.
It is a good
was at 2
reason.
meetings.
But maybe we should not do the asphalt and maybe do pavement, because it is a nice area.
And I agree, we can talk, I mean, we just submitted the grant last week, it hasn't been awarded. If it is awarded, we can sit down with ODOT and we can say, I know we submitted this for the path for Brightwood, can we possibly change it to sidewalks? That would be up to them. But I have heard that the people living on Brightwood are opposed to both.
Right. Exactly.
Well,
Even though we just want kids to get to school safely, that is the purpose of the grant.
well, then maybe having a regular sidewalk
kid's
would at
safety
least
thing to
look better and not affect their revenue or their property value. A normal looking sidewalk would not affect their property value.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more other thing to say, but it's not about Brightwood.
Mr. Arsman?
Yes, Ms. Mayor, I'd like to address your comment about transparency. And it can be done. I know Ms. Brown contacted me a few weeks back and said that she had the possibility of a grant for the MLK Neighborhood Association. I called a meeting with the MLK Neighborhood Association. We sat down, we discussed what we needed, what they would like to have, and we came to an agreement, and that's what's going to be submitted. So yeah, it can be done.
Good, thank you. And that's all the things that we really want, because I mean, we just get up and go to work and live our lives. We vote you guys in to do your jobs, and we just hope you do it. And I am up here just to making sure you guys are doing it. I come up here probably looking like all mean and like, you guys really don't know me. I'm not really that bad of a person, all right? But right now, when I come up to these council meetings, this ain't about me being your friend. This is about me representing Marion and making sure the stuff is done right for every person in this town. And if I have to get up here and look stupid, or get loud, or stand out on this corner, get my point across, that's what I'll do. But I am a nice person. But why you got me back up here real quick, Mr. Watts, I think, a couple months ago, when we had the auditor leave. That Monday, I gave you about 6 or 7 questions. I have yet to get an email from, you sent me an email saying, yeah, we got the question. Can I get answers to the question?
I'll work on it. I'm currently working on other things.
Well, because see, the thing is these questions, if we get answers to the questions, then we have answers for the people. About the transparency about the finances. If you can get me answers to the questions, then we'll have answers for the people.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Thank you.
Anyone else before, yes.
Thank you so much. Jackie Peterson, 562, the church is at 82 Lee Street. I want to say thank you so much for the work that was done on Lee Street. It looks absolutely fabulous. With one exception, my house. When you go up into my drive, and I approached someone while they were working on this, I think I talked to someone in regional planning, it's so steep. So now this past winter, when we're going into our drive, we were spinning, and I knew it was gonna happen, but they said your house is sitting higher than the rest of the houses. I'm like, but it was never like that before, so why couldn't you just, it's something to do with the sidewalks, but it's really a problem for my husband and I. We're spinning trying to get up in there with the ice and all, so I don't know if you guys can do anything about it, but we did bring it up. We did bring it up prior to them finishing it. But thank God for the sidewalks. It looks really nice, so I do want to say that. But I just need to see if somebody can come out again and look at it, because it changed everything. And we're going up like this. And that's really hard. So if you could have somebody look at it, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you for having me back up here. For my second act, I would just ask council real quick, referring to what from the asphalt notice. Do you ever receive something like this? And I'll just pass it real quick. You have any note of this?
Yeah.
You do. And are you on the committee?
Finance?
Finance committee?
Yeah.
Okay, you might. You guys ever see this? Okay, good. Basically what this is in December of 2021, it's one of my final hoorahs, but it was my one of my last spreadsheet report. So what I did as city treasurer, I prepared this in about the 15th of every month. I tried to get this out to all the council members. And what it is, a spreadsheet that tells you where every penny in the city of Marion is. Okay. Well, with the help of the auditor. Okay. Just a plug. Good. Okay. So what had happened was, what we've done is with the transition of treasurers, there has been pretty good loss of money, but not an overwhelming amount of money. But it has shrunk. So at the end of that December, the city had in its coffers $16,189,167.01. And that was sent through the auditor's office and approved and all that stuff. So this is copacetic. And this tells you where every penny you have to work with is located. And the biggest amount of this is out of the city. The biggest amount basically is at Fifth Third. That's over 13 million, maybe more by now. I have no idea what it would be. Maybe less?
Less.
Probably so. Yeah, less. Okay. But that's what it was in December 2021 when I left. Every bank here, I went to every bank and I talked to bank presidents and I got the lowest rate, highest rate I could get on investments. And whenever payroll needs money, when they gotta make payroll, then they simply wire Fifth Third Bank. Fifth Third Bank makes up the difference and puts it in the coffers. So what I wanted to leave you with was the $16,189,167.01 as of 2021. Okay, that's what I had when I left office. But I wanted you to see that if you get this spreadsheet like this, at least by the 15th of the month, then I think your treasurer's doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right.
Adjourn.
Nothing further? We are adjourned at 8:08.
Thanks. I felt safe.
Matt, Mr. Pollack, I forgot this announcement.